All right. Hello, hello. All right, just gonna pull this up on my phone for the live chat. There we go. All right, we got the sunset lamp on tonight, which actually makes it kind of hard to look in the direction of the camera, but it looks cute. And we've got just a couple minutes until we get moving tonight. All right. Yeah, we've got 2 minutes till we get going. We're gonna do, as you can see from the title, hips, hips, hips will be our focus this evening. So for props, if you would like, 2 blocks can tuck up towards the top of the mat. A strap could be helpful for a couple too, but definitely not necessary. All right. We'll get started in just a minute. Oh, it's so cold. We gotta start moving, Alice. We gotta start moving. All right, I'm just gonna retie this scraggly bun I've been wearing for over 12 hours, and then we will get started. All right, bun's tied, blocks are at the top of the mat. Let's start moving. Welcome to our 30-minute weekly beginners flow. Like I said, we are going to do hips tonight, and let's start on our backs. Thank you for being here, Alice. All right, we can find a nice comfortable spot here. You could take the legs long. You could take bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. Another option here, if you want to use one of your blocks to start, you could lift up to a bridge, slide that block under your sacrum, your low back, upper butt on the medium or low setting. Then maybe stretch the legs out long, opening the hips up here. So any comfortable position that you want to start in. Could be one of the ones I offered, it could be something different. Start to settle in with some nice full breaths. And taking full inhales through your nose. And exhaling from the mouth, feeling the body soften, the shoulders relax a little closer to the mat. Let's take 5 more rounds of breath here. Great, take one more full breath. All right, let's bring the feet up to plant. If you're in knees wide, gently closing. If you have your block under there like I did, you can just lift the hips to get that out and then just toss that block off to the side. Let's walk the feet out the width of the mat. So we find a nice wide stance here and start to move into some gentle windshield wipers. Taking these nice and slow as you start to rotate the hips. And maybe you even let one leg open as wide as it can before the other chases it all the way to the side. Let's take a few more breaths to slowly move between sides here. I love when the cat's walking. No, silly. He's looking right into the sun lamp light. He's gonna be blind. All right, the next time the knees are over to the right, let's pause there. Flexing into the right foot, sliding the right ankle onto the left thigh, and bringing the left foot to plant, landing in a figure 4. Now you can keep this shape grounded. You could also scoop that left leg up, interlacing hands on the back of the thigh. Thinking about flexing into the feet and that right knee driving away, opening the hip. Great, take a couple more breaths here. Alice? Alice, no, don't eat the wire of the sunset lamp, you little bitch tonight. Okay. All right. Let's release that left leg if you have it lifted to replant. And we're going to take this into a twist, exhaling to knock the shape all the way over to the left. Right foot can reach for the ground or a block as you settle into this twist. Thinking about the shoulders anchoring down towards the mat here. Let's take 3 to 5 breaths to sink into this shape. Excellent. Alice came back. Yeah, you stay over here. Don't go chewing on my wires tonight. All right, let's slowly start to bring this shape back to center, uncrossing the legs to walk the feet back out the width of the mat, and let the knees fall over to the left. Left foot flexes, left ankle slides onto right thigh, and right foot comes to plant, landing in figure 4. You can keep this grounded, or if you did so on the other side, scooping that right leg up, keeping the feet flexed, thinking about that left knee driving away, opening the hip. Settle in for a couple breaths here. Great, if you have that right leg lifted, let's replace it back down and take this into a twist. Exhaling to knock the shape over to the right. This time the left foot is reaching for the ground or a block as you settle into twist. We're going to take 3 to 5 full breaths here. Great, last breath. And then slowly bring that all the way back to center. Uncrossing the legs, give the knees a hug in. We're take it up to a seat. You can press off to the side or take a little rock up to Baddha Konasana, bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. Let's inhale up nice and tall here. Maybe you're bringing the hands to plant behind you. Fingertips could face forward or away, whatever is more comfortable for your shoulders. And you can either stay here, thinking about opening the heart forward, or maybe you do a little lift of the hips, pressing into the outer edges of the feet. Awesome. One breath in. And exhale, release. Inhaling to lengthen through the spine. Hands can come to the ankles now. And with an exhale, to hinge forward, thinking about keeping length through your spine as you start to fold before releasing to let it round. Inhale to roll that all the way back up. And exhaling to take it down. Awesome. Let's take a couple more of these little waves through the spine. And if you find you don't have much space to fold here, taking the legs a little further away can help. Also, propping yourself up on one of your blocks can help make a lot more space. Great. Let's take one more round here. And then we'll meet all the way back up in a nice tall spine, opening the right leg out to a half straddle to the side. Left foot can pull in towards the right inner thigh. Inhale, reaches the left arm up. And exhale, side body stretch up and over to the right. Great, let's inhale that all the way back up, and we'll take it right over to the other side, passing through butterfly to open the left leg out. Right foot can pull in closer. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, side body stretch up and over to the left. Great, let's inhale that all the way back up, rebending into the knees. We can tuck off to the side, coming forward to a tabletop. All fours, hands and knees. We'll start to move into some cat-cows here, inhaling to reach the heart forward. Exhaling to push away and round. Great, take a couple more here, moving with your breath. Inhaling forward and exhaling away. Great, let's slowly start to bring the spine back to neutral and bump the hips over to the right, taking a peek over the right shoulder, finding just a gentle stretch through the left side body. Let's inhale that back to center and exhale it to the left, bumping to the left, peek over the left shoulder. Inhaling center, exhaling right, inhaling center, exhaling left. So let's bring that back to center and take the knees and take them a step back. So you can see my wrists are much further in front of my shoulders now. And we're going to combine those two movements to make a circle with the hips. So bumping the hips over to the right. As you start to shift forward, squeezing the glutes, sending the hips down towards the ground. Bump it over to the left. And exhale, pushes it back almost like you're coming towards child's pose. So we're drawing a big circle with the hips here. This can be as big or small as feels comfortable for your hips and spine in this movement. So I'm going to take two more in this direction. Sometimes I like to add a little leg kick in here as well as you kick forward. Let's switch that over to the other side. Great, last 3. Last 2. And the last one. Awesome. Let's step those knees back in so we come back to our tabletop position. Tuck the right toes to extend back through that leg. Let's sweep that over to the left, taking a peek over the left shoulder for a side body stretch. Great, inhaling to drag the right leg back behind. And exhale, sweep it all the way over to the right to plant the foot, toes facing forward, an extended leg tabletop. Inhaling to reach the heart forward here. Exhale, push away and round. Great, let's take 2 more breaths to go through our cat-cows with this extended leg. Great, and then bringing it back to neutral. You can keep going if you want to take a couple more of those cat-cows, or we can take a few more breaths with this extended leg, maybe coming down to forearms, or pushing the hips back like we're coming to child's pose with that extended leg. Walking the arms forward, letting the forehead melt down. Great, just 2 more breaths. Then let's slowly come all the way back up. Inhaling to sweep the right leg behind. And exhale, steps the right foot to the outside of the right hand, lizard lunge. Option to grab blocks under the hands here if you like. Tucking the tailbone, sending the hips down, opening up through the hip flexor. Take a couple breaths in this lunge. You could remain still. You could find gentle movement. I like to gently open and close my hips, moving side to side. You can also flex into the right foot, wing that knee out, maybe finding a little more space. You can also stay completely still, whatever feels good for your lizard lunge tonight. Great, just 1 more breath. All right, from here, let's tuck the back toes to lift that knee and step the left foot to the outside of the left hand, bending into the knees, sinking the hips down into a malasana. We're finding a nice deep squat here. You can always use your blocks to stack underneath you or hold on to a chair or object here. Or you can take the hands to heart center, triceps pressed to the inside of the knees as you lengthen through the spine. Let's take 2 breaths here. Again, you can stay still. I like to take little side-to-side rocks in my malasana, working into the hips. Great. With the next inhale, let's find some stillness. And exhale, rise all the way up to standing. Tuck the tailbone at the top. Turning the feet to parallel. Inhale, sweeps the arms up. And exhale, forward fold. With an inhale, lengthen through your spine in a halfway lift. Exhale, folds. Plant the hands. Let's step it back to a plank and take the knees down, tabletop. Nice. Inhale, tucks the left toes, extend back. Exhale, steps the left foot over to the right, peeking over the right shoulder for that side body stretch. Great. With the next inhale, to take the left leg behind. And exhale, sweep it over to the left side to plant the foot, toes facing forward. Inhale to reach the heart forward here. Exhale, push away and round. Great, let's take 2 more breaths here to move through the spine. Once you finish those 2, you can keep going through cat-cows, or you could come down to forearms, or push the hips back like you're coming to child's pose with that extended left leg. We'll take 2-3 more breaths wherever you are here. All right, gripping into the fingertips, start to pull back up onto the hands. Inhaling to sweep the left leg back. And exhale, steps the left foot to the outside of the left hand. I like to grab my blocks here for my lizard lunge, tucking the tailbone, sending the hips down. We'll take a couple breaths here, finding any movements. Probably something similar to the other side. Maybe it's gently opening, closing the hips, flexing the left foot, winging that knee out. Awesome. Take a couple more breaths wherever you are. Great. Last breath. Great. Start to tuck the back toes to lift that knee. And step the right foot up to the outside of the right hand, heels in, toes out, as you sink the hips down into a malasana. Try to lengthen out through your spine here. Let's take 2 breaths. All right, with the next inhale, finding some stillness if you're taking any movement. And exhale to rise all the way up to the top, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, sweep the arms up, feet turn to parallel. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen out through your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plants the hands. Let's step it back to a plank and take the hips back, downward facing dog. So maybe finding a little pedal out through the feet here. Moving the hips side to side. All right, from here, let's start to walk the hands to the back of the mat, meeting in forward fold. Nice soft knees. Inhale, lengthen out the spine halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, sweeping the arms up. And with an exhale, release the arms by side body. Awesome. Let's take a step forward with either foot so we can turn to face the long edge of the mat. Turning the heels in, toes out, starting to bend into the knees, sinking the hips down, coming into a goddess or a nice wide squat. Now think about your knees driving out here. We don't want them collapsing inwards. Nice. With the next inhale, to reach the arms up, rise up tall through the legs. And exhale, rebend into the knees, swooping the arms down low. Inhaling to rise up. Exhaling to sink it down. Great, one more time like that. Let's inhale up. Exhaling down, pausing here, bringing the hands onto the thighs now. Take an inhale here. And with an exhale, dip the left shoulder, taking a peek to the right. Just one breath. Inhaling through center. Exhale, dips the right shoulder, peek to the left. Great. Let's inhale back to center, rising up through the legs, turning the feet to parallel, and hinging forward into a wide fold. Hands can come down to plant on the mat, on blocks, on ankles. And I'm going to give a couple options for movement in your wide fold. You can stay still, of course. You can always bend into one knee and the other. Or if you're looking for a bigger hip opener, we can work into Skandasana. Walking the hands over to the right, bending into the right knee as you flex left toes to the sky. Sinking the hips down any amount here. And pivot that through your wide fold. Come over to the left. Left knee bends, right toes flex to the sky. So we'll take just a couple more breaths here for any of those movements. Great, slowly starting to come back to wide fold in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. From your wide folds, inhale, lengthen out the spine like you're in halfway lift. Reach the arms out to a T, rise up to standing. Turning to the front, we'll step it up to the top. Inhaling to reach up. Exhaling to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold, stepping it back to a plank, and let's take the knees down. Awesome. We're going to take one more pose before we go on to the back. We're going to take either a frog or a child's pose. So we want to come to child's pose, toes together, knees wide, push the hips back, reach the arms forward. Or if you want to take a more of an active opener here, we'll take a frog. So from tabletop, walking the legs out a little wider, flexing the feet, turning the toes out to the sides. Now maybe you stay up on the hands. You can also come down to forearms on blocks or on the mat. Starting to sink the hips down any amount here, opening up the hips. Now we want to take a peek back and see that we have knees in line with hips and knees in line with ankles for our alignment in this one. Another thing to be aware of here is not just dumping into the low back, but keeping the core contracted here. Now wherever you are, whether you're in child's pose or frog, let's take 3 more breaths. Great. When you're ready to come out, start to pull the legs back in, coming back up onto the hands. If you're on child's pose, coming back up onto the hands. So we can set off to one side and bring the legs in front. We're going to roll it down onto the back from here. So however you're comfortable getting down. And let's give the knees a hug in towards the chest. Hands can hold on to the shins, knees wide around the ribs. Maybe finding a little side-to-side rock here. Or you could find your happy baby, flexing the feet, bottoms of the feet to the sky, grabbing back of thighs, big toes, or outer edges of feet. And you can always feel free to play around in your happy baby. Maybe you take those little side-to-side rocks. Maybe play with extending a leg or both, finding a grounded straddle. Something I've been enjoying here is, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, let me rotate, is finding that same half straddle side stretch we did in the beginning here. So I'm going to open my right leg out to a half straddle and pull the left foot in towards that inner thigh. I don't know if this is a good angle, but that feels nice. So whatever movements feel good in your happy baby, or you're just tugging the knees in. We'll take a few more moments here. And whenever you're ready, you can start to pull the knees back in and then release to let the legs stretch out long. Coming to find a nice comfortable spot on the back. We'll finish with 5 full breaths here. I know you can take as long on the back as you like here, or whenever you're ready. Maybe taking one last big final stretch through the full body before rolling off to the side and slowly taking it up to a seat. Thank you for being here this evening. Let me get the live chat up on my phone. And if you are on Patreon, tomorrow we're going to do a straddle slow flow, which will be really fun. We'll be revisiting some of the movements we took here tonight and building on it. And on Thursday, every Thursday, we have Pilates at 6 p.m. AST. I keep getting AST and ADT mixed up. We're in AST again. So that is on Thursday, and hope to see you there. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. My 13-hour Tuesday is done. I am tired. All right. I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.